Welcome back. Today we're doing a deep dive into a specific piece of high-end AV gear. We're looking at the A-Neuvideo ANI-4-8K60-S. That's quite a mouthful. It's a 4x4 8K HDMI 2.1 matrix switcher. Our goal here is simple. Take these dense specs and make them clear for you, the learner. What can this thing actually do? Fundamentally, it routes 4 HDMI sources to 4 different HDMI displays. Seems simple, but the specs are where it gets interesting. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. And to really get it, you have to start with the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
This is an HDMI 2.1 device, fully HDCP 2.3 compliant. And the big number everyone sees is that 48 gigabits per second video bandwidth. That's the core. It enables everything else.
And that bandwidth translates into some serious resolution support. We're talking up to 8K at 60 Hz 4.2.0 and 8K at 30 Hz with 4.4.4 color, plus 4K at a really fast 120 Hz, also 4.4.4.
Exactly. And that 4.4.4 is important, especially at 4K 120.
Okay, wait, let's clarify that. Why the 4.2.0 for 8K 60? What's the trade-off there?
That's a good question. It's purely about bandwidth limits. Even with 48 GBPs, 8K 60 with full 4.4.4 color just exceeds it. So 4.2.0 is a type of color compression. It reduces the color information slightly. Fine for movies, maybe less ideal for, say, crisp PC text. But getting 4K at 120 Hz with that full 4.4.4 color, that's huge for high-fidelity gaming or detailed graphics work. That 48 GBPs makes that possible.
Makes sense. And it seems to handle all the flavors of HDR, too.
Oh, absolutely. It supports 8, 10, and even 12-bit color depth. And crucially, it passes through HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus now Dolby Vision, HLG, you name it. Basically, it lets the source and the display handle the HDR conversation without getting in the way.
Okay, now here's something that sounds really practical, especially for people, integrating systems with different screens. The independent routing and scaling.
Yes, this is often the real headache solver. You might have an amazing 8K source like a new console or PC.
Right, but maybe only one of your displays is 8K, the others might be 4K, or even just 1080p.
Exactly. And normally that causes chaos. The system defaults to the lowest common denominator. But this switcher has independent downscaling on each output. You can take that 8K signal and scale it down to 4K for one screen or 1080p for another, all simultaneously. So your 8K display gets 8K, your 4K gets 4K, your 1080p gets 1080p, all from the same source if you want. It's incredibly flexible.
That eliminates a major compatibility nightmare. Okay, so scaling sorted, what about the gaming side? HDMI 2.1 means more than just resolution, right?
Definitely. It's got the key gaming features baked in, with like a VRR variable refresh rate.
Which stops screen tearing, yeah.
Precisely. It syncs the display's refresh to the console or GPU's output, smoother visuals. Then there's ALLM Auto Low Latency Mode. Your TV or display automatically switches to its game mode for the lowest input lag. No manual fiddling.
That's pretty neat. What about QMS and QFT?
Right, quick media switching and quick frame transport. They help make switching sources faster and reduce latency further. And SBTM, source-based tone mapping, helps optimize HDR handling. It's about making that high-end gaming experience as seamless and responsive as possible, even in a complex multi-display setup. It's really future-proofing things.
So you've got this complex video routing. The audio must be just as capable, I assume.
It is. Over HDMI, it handles the advanced formats you'd expect. LPCM, Dolby Atmos, DTS HD master audio, even DSD for the audio files. But importantly, it also offers audio breakout. You get optical audio and balanced analog audio outputs.
Ah, so you can send the sound to a separate receiver or amplifier system easily.
Yeah, exactly. You can de-embed the audio from the HDMI signal and route it independently. Very useful in integrated systems or home theaters.
And speaking of integration, the control options seem pretty comprehensive too, not just buttons on the front.
No, definitely built for bigger setups. You've got the front panel, sure, but also an IR remote, standard RS-232 control for systems like Crestron or Control4, and a web GUI. You can manage it from a browser on your network. Plus, it has advanced ED management.
ED, right. That helps sources and displays talk to each other properly about their capabilities.
That's the one. You can really fine-tune how devices handshake, which can solve tricky compatibility issues.
Okay, so summing it up, this A-Neuvideo box is essentially a high-bandwidth command center. It juggles multiple 8K or high frame rate 4K sources, routes them independently to 4 displays, scales intelligently when needed, and supports all the next-gen gaming and HDR tech.
That's a good summary. It handles the massive data flow, the routing, the scaling. The hardware itself is incredibly capable.
What's the final takeaway?
Well, if you connect this to the bigger picture, the challenge isn't really if the hardware can do it. It clearly can handle the 48 GBPs, the VRR, the scaling. The real challenge, or maybe the point of mastery for the user, lies in orchestrating it all. How do you actually use those advanced EDOD settings, for instance, to guarantee absolute minimal latency and perfect handshakes across four potentially very different screens running different content? That interoperability, managing the communication between all these high-spec devices through the matrix, that's where the deeper complexity lies. Something for you to think about.
A fascinating point to end on, making all that potential work together seamlessly. Okay, we've navigated the core specs of the ANI-4 8K60S. Hopefully you feel better equipped to understand what this kind of tech offers. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.